abortion clinic. That card from Walker and a bank deposit receipt that included an image of a signed $100 personal check from the football star. The Daily Beast independently corroborated details of the woman's claims with a close friend she told at the time and who, according to the woman and the friend, took care of her in the days after the procedure. A lawyer representing Walker's campaign told the publication the story was false. Walker also released a statement calling the story a lie and threatened to sue the Daily Beast for defamation. NBC News has not yet verified the allegations or reviewed the documents in question. But hours after the story broke, Walker's son blasted his father's bid for a Georgia Senate seat, calling him a bad father, a liar, and a hypocrite. In a series of tweets, Christian Walker wrote this: "Every family member of Herschel Walker asked him not to run for office because we all knew some of his past. Every single one. He decided to give us the middle finger and air out all of his dirty laundry in public while simultaneously lying about it. I'm done. I don't care about someone who has a bad past and takes accountability. But how dare you lie and act as though you're some moral Christian upright man? You've lived a life of destroying other people's lives. How dare you?" Joining us now, national political correspondent for Politico, Elena Schneider. Elena, great to see you this morning. Let's start there with this story that blew up last night. Walker denies paying for the abortion. We should say that again, and is threatening to sue the news outlet. He's locked in a tight race with Democrat Raphael Warnock. Polls suggest just a few points apart. What is the early sense as to how these allegations may impact this campaign?
Well, look, there's barely been a day since these allegations came out, but I think we're already seeing that this is going to have huge implications for a race that is arguably one of the most, if not the most important Senate race on the map this year. As you said, Herschel Walker is challenging Senator Raphael Warnock, who won a runoff election back in 2021 that gave Democrats that 50-50 split in the Senate, and he's running to maintain that. And Herschel Walker was somebody who Republicans felt like, yes, he certainly had a at the time, they described as sort of a checkered history and were a little bit concerned about candidate quality out of Georgia, but nonetheless supported him wholeheartedly. He had Trump's endorsement. He was pushed by former President Donald Trump. And so somebody who Georgia Republicans broadly and national Republicans got behind. But throughout the summer, we have seen this steady trickle of news that has come out about his personal life and about sort of questionable ways that he's described his own personal history, but then also some outright lies about not initially claiming children that he had with various other women that have sort of been brought to light over the course of this campaign. And then on top of this, we have the revelations from last night where somebody like Herschel Walker, who has been stridently anti-abortion rights and has said that he does not support exceptions, as he said, for rape or incest, now is allegedly paid for abortion. And on top of that, his son, who is a right-wing influencer, somebody who is very popular on TikTok, sort of a Gen Z conservative, he was sort of informally advising the campaign, supportive of the campaign, and now, as you noted, has really not only taken a step back, but really accused his father of additional violence. And so this is really a difficult moment for this campaign, and it's one that was absolutely lighting up Twitter. The key question is whether that actually translates to voters, and I can assure you that the folks in the Warnock campaign and Democrats in Georgia are eager to make sure that voters are going to know about this story. But just one final note, I will say that even though this is an incredibly sort of, painful and difficult story to hear about somebody in terms of their candidacy. But I think that it's important to remember that even though it's very salacious, it's also one that we could remember the Access Hollywood tape that came out back in October of 2016, in which everyone thought Donald Trump's campaign was over. And yet our electorate is pretty dug in. So I think it's important to sort of take all of this with a real grain of salt.
Totally. And this news story shines a fresh spotlight and was already, of course, a key issue these midterms, abortion rights. Give us your brief sense as to how that is playing out in other races across the country.
So I think a lot of this is somewhat dependent on each race in that where the candidate is on these issues. I spent the weekend in Michigan where I was following along with Tudor Dixon, the Republican candidate there, who, like Herschel Walker, doesn't support exceptions for rape or incest. And I think when I talk to women in Macomb County in particular, the sort of culturally conservative county just outside of Detroit, they described that even though they were personally pro-life, that they didn't support this idea of no exceptions altogether. And so I think that there's a little bit of certainly a awareness that even though Republicans are on defense with particularly college-educated women, sort of people seen as the Democratic base, where this is a really energizing issue, not only that, that they're also seeing some real slippage among, voters traditionally who would be supportive of them. Macomb County went for Donald Trump in 2016 and in 2020, and yet there are women there who are really expressing some real concern about abortion and sort of about the extremes to which it seems like some Republican candidates are interested in taking this issue.
Terrific on-the-ground reporting there. We really appreciate it.